We're live. We're live. Actually, see
Whoa.
faces this time.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm D-Rock, a.k.a. D-Berry, a.k.a. D-Bubba Bear, don't care, long hair,
Okay,
everywhere.
Quake, Tremor, pretty much Chrome Dome, Arnold Schwarzenegger, loads of people.
I do some things here and there.
You do a lot of things.
I do some stuff. I'm also, I don't know if you see me checking on my phone, I'm actually getting prepared later on for our special minute that we have. Our minute of deep ass.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I thought you might have. I
forgot. It completely went past me.
That look on your face says it all. And,
it does.
Yo, deepest breath coming up in a minute. Let's do a recap. I think last week we tackled the meaning of life.
Oh yeah, meaning of life part 1.
I mean, I think every episode is going to be another part, right, of the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Every episode after this is just part whatever of the meaning of life episode, because this is our purpose. This is our meaning. Linking up, fucking sharing insightful words, thoughts, and philosophies with each other and you at home, baking milk and cookies. I don't know why you'd bake milk, but you could.
Bake milk.
Bake milk. Your boy D-Rock's getting baked. I don't know if you could tell. And we watched the egg video last week too.
Oh yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
The egg video's fire.
You know, it's
gonna... I'm sorry. Go on.
Again, we keep interrupting.
I've got ADHD and a lag on our computer, so I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna happen.
I've got lag and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Yeah, the thing that like baffles me about stuff is like how big things are. It's like how big things are, and it's like the universe. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of them videos of like the universe scale, but it's like you can't even comprehend. Like I sometimes look at the distance from where I am to the moon, and it's like, how do you comprehend that distance? I mean, maybe the moon to Earth you can comprehend. Like, I guess that's, you know, you can think about that. But then think about how big it is from Earth to Saturn or Jupiter, or like think about how big the sun is. And it's kind of just one of the things of like,
well, that's the thing. Like, you
can't comprehend it.
The universe is so vast that we use something called a light year to measure distance, not time. Because a light year sounds like it would measure time, but it's literally the speed of light moving for 1 year straight, which to us the speed of light is almost instantaneously.
Yeah. I watched a good documentary about planets recently when I was in my isolation, and I never really understood the speed of light, but this helped me put into perspective. Like, let's say you've got like a massive galaxy. Like, say this remote is a galaxy. Let's say it's like 100 light years long. The way it's said is it's 100 light years long. If you were traveling at the speed of light, it would take 300 years to go all the way. So if that's like 300, it would take you at the speed of light. If you're moving that fast, at the speed of light. Yeah, well, 300 if that's 300. 100.
Oh yeah, if it's 300, yeah, my bad. I heard 100.
Or if it, you know, if someone says, oh, it's 50 light years away, it would take you 50 years to travel at the speed of light to get there.
Let's say that the nearest star is 100 light years away, which it's not. It's more than that, right? But that means that star could have blown up 95 years ago, and we wouldn't know it.
I find it weird.
We're still watching because we're looking back in time. Whatever object we're looking at in space, if we can measure how many light years away from us it is, we can go, oh, that's what it looked like 75, 80, 90 years ago. That's not.
You know what it's like? It's like, you know those movie reels, those old movie reels where it's like a long tape. Imagine if that's like a tape, and obviously as it goes along, and it's like you got the start, the middle, and the end. Oh, and then like tapes that you rewind, the old ones, VHS. It's almost like
film.
Like the tape's like bent, and like say if you're here, and this is like 100 light years away, it's almost like the future you or the present you is watching the past. If that makes sense, as it goes around. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's kind of like
if
like
we
it loops around and you're looking at so like say if that's us here and this is 100 light years away, it's literally like you're looking at the past. I don't know if that explanation makes sense, but it makes sense in my head.
So to me, what it's like is here. Let's see if I can use this stick here. I don't know if you can see the stick. Oh, you can't.
Yeah, I can see the stick.
Bring
him up. Yeah, no,
all right.
That's what happened to me with the remote.
You're on this end 100 light years away. I'm on this end 100 light years away. Now, if I look at you, I don't see you. I see 100 years before you are there on that day, and vice versa. So even if we move around and look at each other 100 years later and we're still alive, I see you from 100 years ago. I don't see you today.
See, you know what makes me, this is something I've always thought of. If it's kind of like that where it's so far away and you're looking at history, even though it's already gone, this sounds really stupid, but let's say if I was in the same room as you right now, like, say if you was here and I'm here, even though obviously you're talking and interacting at the same time, is there like the most minuscule of time difference between us?
Absolutely. There's a
like even like the tiny, just a little bit.
We're not going to be really perceptive of it because it's so minuscule. It's like Planck time, you know what I mean? A fraction of a second of difference, but it's like the same amount of a fraction of a second difference when you look at yourself in the mirror and your eyes take to understand that information and project it onto your brain.
Yeah. So I watched a video recently and it's this kid staring into a mirror and it's like an unexplained paranormal thing because he lags. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Let me try to show you the video.
Yeah, bring it up, dog. I like that we could do that. Like we're like, yeah. Have you seen that? No. Show me.
I'll show you on my phone if it's good quality.
All right. You say when you want this deep ass breath too, bro.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting about it. I'll show you this and then we'll go for the deep ass breath. While we try and figure out what this means. Okay. Well.
Okay. All right.
Hang on.
Yep. No, you're good. All right. Yep. Playing with the mirror. Cute. So what they did was, that's clever video editing. That's what it is.
It's not edited. It's not edited. It's real.
I don't know. That seems super edited to me. Because it's like they took an image, they took the image from the baby moving and moving it back and forth. Right. I would just double check that, but I could see how
there are people who do say stuff like that, and it's like someone else in the mirror. Like sometimes it's not you, and it doesn't keep up with you. Like someone says, like if you look in the mirror, it's not you. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but can you even imagine that?
If I could imagine, well, to me, it's more of a possibility that nobody's real. Like me and you talking to each other right now, but because I perceive everything in my head, I take all the information in my head. What's to say that you're not just a simulation and I'm just sitting here, a brain in a jar, talking to myself, experiencing all of reality around me just with my own electrical impulses and neurons being shot around with what I think is going on in the world.
Yeah, that's something I've thought of all the time. And I don't know if you ever do it. Like, this is something I've always done. And if no one else has done it, then I'm going to sound absolutely crazy here. But do you ever just stare at yourself in the mirror for ages and think like...
Yeah, when I'm on psychedelics...
I look weird.
Yeah, especially when I'm on psychedelics, I go, I look weird, man.
The thing is, like, I don't take psychedelics or anything like that. Yeah, I do it when I'm like normal, like now. I like stare at myself. Or like if I'm looking at the camera right now, like... And it's just kind of like... You're staring at yourself, but it's like you, but then it's kind of like, why do I look like that, and who am I? And
well, that's the thing. Like these are just
it just blows my mind. Like you can look in the mirror, see yourself, and it's kind of like
That was crazy.
I know. What's going on? Someone's hijacking the broadcast. Oh, God. We broke it. We've unlocked the meaning of life.
Ghosts and shit. No, I was touching the wire with my leg. Apparently, I don't know. That's how junky my webcam is. But yeah, no, it's bizarre, man. We can't prove anything. You can't prove that I'm real. I mean, what am I? What am I composed of? Molecules that vibrate. What are those molecules that vibrate composed of? Quirks that vibrate. You're like, at the end of the day, we're all just energy and vibrations in different forms. God damn, this wire.
Don't get angry at it. It's an energy and vibrational form.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going to see if I can plug it in a little bit tighter so the energy stays within its vibrational form and its wires, right? Come on. Mary Jenkins. Let's try to start cam. Oh, okay. Oh, wrong cam. We're getting places. Okay. Let's try that one. All right. Okay. Start cam. Hey, boom, boom, boom. I'm getting better at fixing these little technical difficulties.
Look at you technical whiz.
Oh, who's the whiz kids? This 36-year-old grown man who has back problems.
Hey, I'm 22 and I've got back problems.
Yeah.
It's mainly because of the way I sleep. But
I got 99 problems and my back is about 43 of them right now. Hit me. No, don't, please. Sort. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if you could tell this, Dan, but I like to smoke marijuana occasionally, and I
mean, it's legal where you are, so you know, it's illegal where I am, but you know, for you, it's legal, so you know.
I'm Martin Luther King. I'm Martin Luther King that for many years. They just follow unjust laws that were based on racism and garbage anyways. You're just like, you know what? That law's not for me. I'm just not going to follow that law.
Should we have it?
Yeah. Deep ass breath. Is that what you're smiling at?
Yeah. You can like read me so well.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what happens when you're best friends. We're just two dudes vibing. You know what I mean? Check us out every week ish. All right.
I'll turn the meditation music up.
You want to turn it up?
Yeah, just for the deep ass breath.
Oh, I got a minute of guided meditation. So
okay. Yeah.
No, mine's already on. Like, I got it set up. I got it queued.
Okay, let's go. I'll mute mine.
Time for two dudes vibing with a deep ass breath.
Deep ass breath.
This is your minute of deep ass breath. Take a moment to suck it all in. All that good ass Mickey Mouse looking ass no, it's O2, oxygen. That air going up in your chest piece and your chest particles whirring around, stirring up those good vibrations. Good vibrations. You know what I'm saying? Let that in your heart chakra. Bite down, chomp down with your chakra right on that little piece of tidbit in love. And as you go to exhale, like a comically, cartoonishly big Tommy gun, I want you to think about all the negative things you're spitting out. All the fear, COVID-19 and vaccines and arguing with your grandma over Thanksgiving. That was months ago. Let that shit go. This has been your minute. A deep ass breath. Woo! Damn, I killed it. I timed it. I hit the post and everything. I stopped talking and they were like, oh, yo, I crushed
you got me. You got me when you're like Mickey Mouse and I'm the Tommy gun, like.
You know what I'm saying? You got to notice your breath. You got to be mindful of that shit in your body. You know what I mean?
And currently it's 1616 here.
Yeah.
There's so many number synchronicities.
1616. Yeah, it's 11.
Let's see what that means. Let's see what that means. 1117. Oh, that's a big number for me. Okay, let's see what those mean.
Snap.
1616 is when my Wi-Fi loads. 1616 wants you to let go of any concerns that you might be having in regards to material possessions.
Be a minimalist. Got it.
11:17 says that you've learned from your negative ways from the deep earth breath, and you're creating a fantastic and profitable future.
Swag. What about 9/11? That's my birthday. My birthday was September 11th. Never forget. I tell people. I don't know. Some people say it's a bad luck day.
I typed in 9/11 angel number. It says it's the most well-known emergency helpline number. You know, like 911.
Swag.
Okay, so 9/11 also asks you to make small investments. They will prevent you from spending too much. So it's basically saying, here's a load of money, but careful not to spend it on big investments. Make small investments.
Don't be a jerk with your cash. Which is just like, you know, that's common sense. But sometimes when you don't have money, you like that. Get rid of that money fast. I got to change my relationship with money, Daniel. That's my problem. Is
I do as well. I do.
Most of my life, we were lower middle class poverty line. You know what I mean? Like, so there was times I went to bed hungry. There's times like growing up and watching how hard my mom worked to not get very much money was a very real thing in my life. So I just have had this idea my whole life that there's not a lot of money to be had out there, and I'm not supposed to get a lot of money. But because I have that ingrained thought, that is preventing me from acquiring the abundance that my family actually deserves, like to be able to live and have a house if I want it, own a business, you know what I mean? That mindset of lacking and coming from a place of scarcity is what's holding me back from manifesting my own abundance. Because if you look at the world, there's enough for everybody if we do it right. And that's what we need to focus on, helping, so that way everybody can be accommodated, everybody can come out here and get this wealth and growth, and we can, you know, push all of humankind better.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I've always had this thought, like, if everyone gave everyone on the planet, like, if everyone gave every single person, like a pound or something, you could literally, like, share everything equally and rack it up so it's even, rather than one person having like millions, one person having like £5, one person having 3 million, 2 million.
Yeah, the thing about that is a lot of people are scared that a lot of people aren't going to want to work or do anything constructive because they're going to be getting paid. But a lot of people want to work and do things constructive, so that way it feels like they have a purpose and they have a reason to be and have a reason to wake up every single day and chase. And the thing is everybody wants to do their own thing, and I don't even think that everybody needs to split up everything evenly. I just don't think that we should have a world where there's a dude who's worth billions of dollars, close to trillions, and we still have homeless children, women, vets that are out here that don't have a place to live. They don't have a place to sleep at night. And they don't know where their next meal's coming from. That's my big beef with the whole thing. Like, yo, if you're going to be a billionaire and make your own rocket and float around in space in a tube that looks like a dick, at least pay your fair share of taxes before you start waving that shit in my face. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear that some bald douchebag float his dick rocket and just float it around in space for a day. But he also only paid $134 in taxes. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. Because I paid more than that in taxes. You're telling me if I had fucking dudes in suits telling people like, yo, this guy over here is fucking awesome, let him keep all his money. You know what? We're going to make laws and stuff so you could funnel him more money. I could have a dick rocket too, but I would choose to just help other people. I'd be like, why would I need a dick rocket when we could have healthier lunches in schools and healthier lunches in prison and try to reform our legal system and fix our infrastructure and all these things? And they're like,
you know what the thing is? It's like,
dick rocket.
if you took money, if money wasn't part of the equation, would you still do it?
Yeah, Yeah, for sure, dude. And if
oh no, I mean generally, like these people who's like got these high-end jobs that pay ridiculous amount of money. It's kind of like they do it for the money. If that role wasn't highly paid, would they still do it? And I think that's when you know if that's your passion or if that's a job.
I feel like between you and me, if I never had to worry about money ever again, like I was just set up, whatever, it just fell into my lap. I never had to worry about money again, right? But it was only enough for me and my family to live on. I couldn't be like given to charity like that, but everybody was comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. And I had free healthcare. I would be like a fucking fireman. Like I would try to be running in and helping people every single day. That would be my jam. But unfortunately, I have to live in a world where I have to have a job, or most of the time, multiple jobs, just in order to pay all the bills on time. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Like, it's just rough. How many more firefighters? How many more teachers? How many more really great, creative, passionate, wonderful people would be in their right positions if we didn't have to become like a slave to a capitalistic society just to survive?
See, that's the thing. It's like I see so many people in jobs I've had or roles that I've been in, and you kind of think you shouldn't be in this role. And it's like when you ask why do you want to do it? Either money or it's to show off to their friends and like, oh, this is my job. And then when you speak to people who genuinely want the job and you're like, why can't you get it? And it's like, there's no space for recruitment. There's no budget. There's no, I can't get there for X, Y, and Z. And it's kind of like a lot of people who should be in the job aren't, and a lot of people who shouldn't be in the job are. That's what I find.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. When we have a, wow, I think my camera froze. Anyways, when we have a society that base, can you hear me okay though? Like did the audio?
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
you're literally stop.
I look like I'm asleep. I love it. It's a great shot. It's a great shot. Thanks. Thank you, internet.
It's like you're like
it's gonna be a meme, bro. It's like falling asleep.
I'll judge.
Shit. What were we even talking about? I had something to say, I swear to God, and then I just looked
about how people who are in the jobs shouldn't be in the jobs, and people who should be in the jobs aren't.
Yeah, fucking damn! I forgot what I was gonna say about that. But I'm gonna flounder here for a second, but let's try. Yeah, a lot of people are not in the positions that they're supposed to be. Oh God, here we go. Jesus. Obviously,
I don't think someone wants us to talk.
I shouldn't be in podcasting, but yeah, here I am. Yo, this wow, this is insane. We got to put a warning up for flashing lights and stuff. Oh, wow. I think I broke it. I think I've ripped the wire out of the back of it. Oh, God, yeah, that's Lucy. This is not working. Hello, Mom. Mom, can you give me more meatloaf? I start yelling for my mother who's not here. It's just like, oh, great, I'll work for you now. Thanks. Yeah, no, a lot of people are not in the jobs they're supposed to be in, and they're going around feeling unfulfilled. And it's funny. I think this is where I was going with it. It was like a lot of people do it for the money. But then when you ask them, like, why do you want, millions of dollars? Why do you want to become a millionaire? So that way I have enough money to do whatever I want. All right. So then what would you do? What would you do if you could do whatever you want? I don't know. I'd probably be laying in a beach somewhere. So, all right. So we're in agreement. You don't want to work hard. You want to work hard enough for yourself to be laying on the beach somewhere. When you could, and by all means, hear me out here, enjoy the moment, settle for laying in a bathtub, and just do that every day if you wanted to, and be content. I would say maybe don't illusion yourself with society's dream that you need the mansion and the hot tub when you can settle for a tiny house and a bathtub. I don't know. I think it's just really simple. if you can take your fantasy and have it compromise with your reality to a degree. When it comes to something that you're really passionate about, you're really into, and you want to chase 100%, go for it. Don't compromise. Keep going. But don't cut your arm off just to wave hi at people further away. It sounds dumb. I don't even know where that analogy came from. I just made that shit up now. Don't cut your arm off to wave at people further away.
I think as well, it's like when you take everything away, it's like
sounds like a song.
What's left? And this is something I learned in isolation. When you have, well, I mean, in my room I've got pretty much all my Transformers figures, but I didn't want to like fiddle with them because I had COVID, so I didn't want to breathe all COVID on them. I had books, but I didn't want to breathe COVID in the books and then have like dead COVID germs in the book when I next read it. So a lot of the time, I kind of just watched TV or went on my laptop for a bit, and that was really it. And it's kind of like when you have nothing, it's kind of like, oh, what do I do? So when you ask people, oh, why do you want this job? Oh, so I can have a holiday and go to the beach. And it's when you really strip it down to nothing, it's kind of like there's no really real reason that they actually want the job. And it's literally sometimes just, social status or whatever. I'm kind of going off topic here, but that's just something I find interesting, how people say they want to do this and that, and when you strip it down to the reasons, sometimes there isn't even a reason there.
Because society has put it in their subconscious that that's what they're supposed to do. The Dalai Lama said it the best. He was like, yo, it's funny, this Western culture that thinks that they have to work so hard and make all this money, but they're destroying their body to do so. And then when they get older, what do? They take all their money that they accumulated and put it back into their health to try to fix their body. It's broken now. Like you should be mindful of how much you work enough for you to be okay, and not sacrifice your mind, body, or soul in order to do that. And if you have to make compromises, then so be it, because at the end of the day, society is making it harder and harder for people just to live, just to be able to be okay. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, minimum wage isn't a place where you should strive to be at, when it's just like, maybe that's someone's idea of their best life, is to live in their van and drive around and go to their part-time job making minimum wage, but don't have to pay rent, and go hang out and make music or make art or go to every single music festival they want to, and da-da-da-da-da. And that's their version of their perfect life. And who the hell am I or anybody else to judge, to be like, no, that's not how you're supposed to live?
It's interesting you say that, because I watched a video yesterday, and it was this guy who it was acted out, but it kind of had a strong message. I can't remember if I watched it on YouTube or TikTok or something like that, but I was watching it, and it was this guy who was basically broke, and he took this girl on a date who was all materialistic, and he took her to like a burger place, and she started saying like, why are you having Coke? I want an expensive wine. You haven't bought me a gift so I can post it on Instagram. You haven't took me to the most expensive restaurant. And then it said a year later, because she left him in the restaurant because he didn't have any money, but she wanted all this fancy materialistic stuff. And then a year later, he takes a different girl to a really, really expensive restaurant. Keep in mind, in the same financial situation, it turns out. It takes to this really fancy restaurant, gives the flowers, and it's like, here, let me take a photo of you with the flowers that I bought you so I can post it on Instagram and share it with the world. And then he's like, here's my car that he actually rented pretty much, or borrowed. like a massive, expensive sports car, and she was like, "I don't want any of that. I don't want this. I don't want that. I'm not a materialistic person. I want someone like genuine." And he ends up having a second chance in the same night, and he's like, "Let me make it right." And he takes her to the burger restaurant that he took the first girl to, and she enjoyed it because he's like, "I'm not rich. I don't have this. I did it because I thought this is what girls like." Because his first impression was gold diggers, materialistic. All girls are like that, and it's kind of like how you were saying. Sometimes the most expensive life isn't for certain people. Sometimes, middle class or lower class people, they just like that, that position that they're in. Because I find that sometimes when I've got loads of money and I'm like, and the device is disconnected. You there? Yeah. Oh, no. I think Derek's just got bored of listening to me. Oh, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well.
It's the camera. Every time I go to start my camera back up, it does that.
The stream can't handle your beautiful beard.
I'm gonna hit the start cam and it's gonna go mute me and everything. Watch. Oh my god, it works. Now, like, they even brought me down.
It's like they stretch your face.
They can't handle my high definition. They had to bring me down a couple pixels.
But yeah, as I was saying, it's like certain people want that life of expensive and materialistic, where some people just don't want that. And it's like people just have different perceptions on life, and they don't allow the class to determine them.
Oh, that feels good. So I stretched my legs out with the other chair in front of me, and I'm like, nom, 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 nom. Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so we want to talk about meaning of life and life lessons and stuff. For me personally, I don't like material possessions as much as society thinks I should, because it doesn't matter to me. Because you just chase after these things, and when you get it, you're not even truly happy, because then you just want the next thing or the accessory or the other thing that somebody else has got. So I get the nicest TV, and as soon as I get it, a week later, a better TV comes out. Now I'm furious. Like, why did I get this piece of shit? Like, the thing that I was waiting for, saving up money for, to get this nice big TV. Now it's fucking garbage in my eyes because of the new one that came out a week later. Like, so I'm sorry. Go on.
No, you go. You
never keep yourself hostage to bullshit fucking material things that I think Fight Club said it. Most people buy to impress a bunch of fucking people that they don't even like. And so they work really fucking hard at stupid fucking jobs they don't even care about just to pay for all the fucking shit they don't need.
Sorry,
I'm a bit of a potty mouth today when it comes to
No, you're good. This is something I've always told myself. I've never told anyone this, so to you and everyone watching,
secrets.
This is a bit of a lesson that I've always thought of. And it's often that sometimes you're right the first time. And it's like sometimes I'll think of something. Like, I've had it in school where I'm like, teachers asked a question and I think, oh, I know the answer. And then I'm like, oh, but wait. And I overthink it. And then someone else puts their hand up and it's like, hey, I know it. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's the right answer. And I'm like, oh, damn it, I knew it. I just overthought it. And I have it all the time, whether it's stop motion or whatever, where I'm thinking of an idea or something's on my mind. And the first answer that comes to me is often the most natural and correct answer without any judgment. And then doubt gets thrown in, then the emotions come in and you overthink it and you add layers to it that just complicate it and factors. And you think that by thinking about it more, you'll get to the bottom of the answer, because you're, rather than just taking the first answer and being like, oh, that'll do, you're thinking more deeply into it, and you're thinking like, I'll get a better answer if I think about this more, because, you know, I'll have more time to think about it and what could go wrong or what could go right or what else I could add to it or take away. And often at the end of it, I always think, I didn't need all that. I didn't need all that thinking. The answer I had at the start was perfect. And it's like that guy with the girl with gold digger story, how he started off poor and he wanted someone genuine, and he took her to like a cheap restaurant, and then the girl at the end, he led him back there, and that was enough all along. And that's what I see all the time for me. It's like, I know the answer, but I just won't go that way, and it's like a circle. I start here, and then I go all the way thinking, and I'm like, at the end, I'm like, oh, I'm in the same position. You know, literally, that's just something I think that the more you overcomplicate it, it's just going to lead you back to the same thing. And sometimes it's just easier to take that leap of faith, take the first answer, and just go with it.
Well, sometimes it's even worse. People will talk themselves out of action by overthinking things. You know what I mean? So they'll even wind up talking themselves out of finding an answer. Yeah, intuition is a wonderful thing. With that comes a bit of confidence that, one, I'm capable to get the right answer the first time, or at least a close enough answer, because sometimes you think so much on a problem, you could have tried the first answer, even if it was wrong, learned from your mistake, and then tried something new and been done with it already. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, no, if you find yourself thinking more about an action, that taking more time thinking about an action than it would time to actually accomplish the task, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. See, going back to my stop motion, my scripts, some stories have taken me years to write, and that's okay, because I'm not ready to write certain stories yet, or I'm still thinking about them. Whereas there are some stories that I wrote like 2 years ago, and I've just not finished them because I've thought, oh, I need more time to think about this scene, how to plan it out. I had the ideas, and then I think, oh, I should wait because this story links into that story, and I should just wait and think about it more and speak to the actors, see what they say, how they would like their character to react. I mean, I find myself like 8 months later, I've still not wrote anything. I'm like, I forgot all my original ideas, or most of the ideas, or even if I have them, I'm still stuck in the same phase. And now I'm kind of like, I'm just going to write. Like that story, I'm not going to say which one it was for spoilers, but the story I mentioned to you, Derek, last night, I started writing that because I thought, if I think about this too much, it's going to end up like before, where I just go too long and never make it. And I literally just sat down last night and started cracking on writing it, because it's fresh in the mind.
Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. I'm going to say that again. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. If you're writing a story, make that rough draft. Put down that brainstorm session where you're just coming up with ideas, and it just looks like a scattered poem of words that nobody else will understand but you. You know what I mean? Put it down.
Yeah.
Because the more you write it, the more you're going to remember it. And the more you write it, the more you're going to feel it, process, think on it in a healthy way, that you're actually taking action and doing something about it, instead of just being in your head and being like, oh, well, I could do that. I'm glad I didn't write anything down yet. It's like, no, you can go back and erase. Write it in a pencil if you need to. You know what I mean? But like, don't get as my grandma used to say, don't get hung up on the petty stuff. Get hung up on the sweaty stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's dirty. My grandma was a perv.
Oh, and your computer starts glitching out as soon as you say that.
Yeah. Grandmas, you know, they'll get you. They'll haunt you if you make a joke about them. Sorry, you don't even know which grandma I'm talking about. They're all just up there, just throwing salt on me right now.
Yeah, it's just one of the things. Like, I think sometimes you should just go for it. And I watched something ages ago, and it said about how guys overthink everything, and they go in one situation, and they're like, if they don't take any action, they think, oh, I could have done this. Or if they take an action and it goes wrong, they think, oh, I knew I should have done the other option. It's like, if you take that other option, you often find yourself in the same situation as you currently are in.
I'm so sorry. Just when the camera works for a second, it just does some crazy. Oh God! Yo, this is the funniest video. The one video trying to get the camera working. This is why I originally had been in radio. I did radio for 10 years. This is why, because cameras don't like me. I think I'm part vampire. That's it. That's what you're doing. My soul pass.
I could just literally. I don't know how the camera caught it, but how I just saw it. Your eye was in like, hang on, where okay, the top corner here, and your mouth was like down here. It was like some art abstract where like pieces of your face were just like scattered around everywhere.
It's awesome. I'm digging this new camera I got. It's called the Pablo Picasso. Oh, it just crapped out on me. Looks like your camera was unplugged. From where? The camera or the plug? Wow. Holy guacamole. Well, Daniel, I'm sorry I couldn't join you the whole time for this. I know that I'm still here in spirit. Oh, wow. That's so silly.
Maybe if I turn my camera off, the audience can hear our soothing voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, why don't you close your eyes and
listen
to our voices? I know.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes, hear our voices, listen to some wild idea.
Soothing voices.
And this is 4:44 p.m. right here as well.
It is 11:44 a.m. here as well. On this wonderful, what is this, Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
Do you have a thing in the US where you call Wednesday Hump Day?
Yeah, we do that.
We have that as well. Well, I remember when I first heard about that, someone was like, hey, it's Wednesday, it's Hump Day. Like, I think my teacher said that, and I looked up and I was like, what? Like, I don't know what you do on Wednesday, but I'm not humping a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was like the middle of the week. But then I'm like, wait, shouldn't it be Thursday? Like, Thursday should be the middle of the week because you got Saturday and Sunday, even though they're the weekend.
It's the middle of the work week, right?
Yeah.
Because we have to revolve everything around the fucking capitalistic 40 hours of 5 days a week work week.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that right, you're a son of a bitch. You motherfucker. You don't deserve to be able to eat and feed your family, you son of a bitch. Hey, man, sometimes I like to write and paint and I want to try out other things. Nope. Can't do that, man. Fuck you, bro.
It's literally like you're programmed to be a slave. Like, have you heard about schools? How schools are like a factory?
Yeah.
They separate. They separate you by age group. They drill subjects into you, the same ones every single year to every single student. You come out in batches of ages. And it's like you go through stages, and then you come out and you go and work, and it's literally like a factory. Yeah, it's like you're all the same.
They teach you like they want you to work in an automated setting where yes, no, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. You know what I mean? This is when I want you to stand. This is when I want you to sit. This is when you're allowed to go to the bathroom. This is when you're allowed to be a human being. Like it's. I don't like it. Between you, I just don't understand it. I don't like it. When did we sign over our autonomy that we are not allowed to go to the bathroom whenever we want at a job? We have to confine it between our 15-minute breaks. You know what I mean? Like that's it's just weird to me. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just. I think a lot of power goes to people's heads. It's like managers can do what they want, supervisors can do what they want, and like the workers are the grunts, and they just do this, do that.
Well, you know, the scariest thing is most public companies, especially ones in food service industry and retail and stuff like that, if you're out here and you're working, you actually see that like a lot of times it is young adults, like 16 to like 26-year-olds. And it's like, I don't want to mention any names, but think of your favorite restaurant and go, oh, they're making millions of dollars on the backs of teenagers, paying them garbage compared to what whatever they're making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just wild.
Yeah. I think a lot of companies, like, they try and sell it. So it's like, hey, join us and you can be an apprentice doing this, or you can work your way up to be a manager at this company. And I think a lot of people, like, no disrespect to anyone, like everyone has their own path, and if someone wants to join a company and be a manager, good for them. But I think to a lot of people who don't enjoy a job, and they're like, they join a job because they're told to by their parents, like, get a job here, and then the employer's like, hey, you can work with us, and in a few years you'll be at the top. And I think a lot of companies try and sell it as like something magnificent when someone just like literally does not care about that role.
Yeah. No,
but again, some people will, but some people won't.
Again, we're going back to there's the wrong people in the wrong places. There's always going to be a need for people to be a manager or supervisor of certain places, right? But we should be able to understand how far that role entitles them to how they talk to, how they manage, and how they appreciate their employees and their guests, right? The same courtesies you would show to the guest, I would assume you extend to your employees, especially if they have to extend those courtesies to you. Have you ever, like, I've been where, like, if I've gone to a job interview and I was late, that looks poorly on me. But if I go to a job interview and the employer is 10, 15 minutes late in the back, I have to sit there and take it. That's not fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There should be the same expectations on both sides. If I go...
It's like that in school.
Mm-hmm.
Like with classes, it's like students turn up late. Oh, detention. Teacher turn up late. Sorry.
Yep.
As you were saying.
No, yeah, no, that's an amazing example of, like, we are all human beings and we're all flawed. We're all going to make mistakes. The best thing we can do is have compassion and kindness. If you see that it's starting to become an issue, then you take that person aside and be like, hey, I just want to know, is there anything I can do to help? You know what I mean? Do you need somebody to talk to? Do you need an alarm clock? I have an extra one. You know what I mean? Like whatever. You know, be there compassionately, lead with love. Don't immediately just get dismissive and defensive and angry and frustrated. And I know because those are emotions that I get to bring up first when the day starts falling apart around me. I don't know if you ever had those days where you're trying to put that thing in the freezer and everything keeps falling back out at you. And at the same time that, you know, the car alarm from across the street's going off and your dog is barking because of it too at the same time. So you're really not having that great of a luck of what's going on. I immediately get to frustration. I immediately get to anger. But then I have to take a breath and recognize, okay, why am I feeling frustrated? Because the world is happening around me. How can I turn that around? I'm glad that I woke up today to experience these frustrations. Wow. That's way better than letting myself get angry and being like, come on, get out of here. Jackson, the dog. That's my dog's name. blowing up on him or yelling at my son, or worse, yelling at my partner. So my son or my partner just remembers this horrible day instead of me just being able to take a breath and being like, you know what? It's c'est la vie. It is what it is. It's going to be all right.
I think it's like, for me, I think sometimes it's the little things that get me. And it's not a case of like little things bug me. I think when you're having one of those bad days, yes, a big thing can be really bad. But I think for me, it's like a lot of little things that bug me. Like it can easily draw you down. It's like, would you rather have 2 hard punches in the face or 20 slaps? Kind of like that. It's like,
yeah, no,
I think different people are different levels.
That's when I let it boil up too. When it keeps happening, and I'm like, can I get a fucking break over here? You know what I mean? And yeah, everybody gets a little jumpy, but then I remember, we take another deep breath. Let me communicate to everybody. Hey, the fucking toaster strudels just dive bombed, kamikaze attacked me for the 9th time in a row. I just broke my favorite cup. The dog chewed on my shoes because he was anxious about the car alarm going off for about an hour and a fucking half. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I need to go take a minute to go in the other room and scream every single profanity that I can think of. I think that healthy communication and recognizing there's a time and a place for every emotion, right?
I agree. I think a lot of I think some people, when like you express yourself, it's one of those things. It's like, if I express myself and shout, I feel bad. But if I keep it in, people tell me not to keep it in, and it's like, how do you release that anger?
Sometimes you have to shout. Sometimes you go to your kickboxing class. You know what I mean? Put on your favorite song and scream to it.
See, that's the thing for me. It's like, it's weirdly enough, I don't know whether it's because I've got used to it and numb over the years, but like, if I'm mad, and if I do a kickboxing class, it doesn't relieve me at all. Like, if obviously I get tired from it and like whatever, but I'm not one of these people who can express himself with physical aggression at a punch bag. I don't know why. But
no, that's good, because sometimes the punch bag's not there and people still want to express themselves. So it's probably for the best.
See, for me, before we wrap up, but like for me, here's what I like to see. If I'm feeling a certain emotion like anger or like sadness, a lot of people say, "Oh, don't feel it; it'll lower your vibration and whatever." I think for me, if you block something like that out, it's bad because you're causing a blockage for me. And I could change in the next like 5 years. I might deal with it differently. For me, I like to sit sometimes and just feel it.
Yes,
and
you have to
allow myself. And the way I see it is, it's like you're in the middle of the ocean and it's like a massive storm. Everything's at you. You're toppling over. You're going underwater here and there. But eventually you'll come out of it and you'll be out of the storm. And that happened to me. I remember one specific night where I went to bed and I was absolutely awful. It was one of the worst nights. And I felt this like cloud. Like I was in the middle of the ocean, like everything was going off. And I don't remember falling asleep. That's the thing. I have no memory of falling asleep. I just remember waking up and it was a bright sunny day, and it was like, it kind of felt like Castaway. I don't know if you've seen that film with Tom Hanks, where he's in the middle of that storm. Yeah, he's in the middle of that storm on the raft. Yeah, exactly. And he's in that storm on the raft, and then he just kind of like blanks out, and next minute he's out the storm. He looks behind him, the storm's behind him. It's a brand new day, and it's kind of like, if you just allow yourself to feel it and flow, eventually you'll come out of it.
Yeah, a lot of people suppress trauma and they go, I'm not supposed to feel that, it'll lower my vibration, something goofy, whatever they say. And what they do is they burrow it and they let it fester in their subconscious. And then they start to form subconscious habits and patterns based off this internal trauma that they never faced. There's an awesome saying. I don't know who said it first, but you have to feel to heal. You have to. And if life was a garden and happiness was sunshine, you would need the whole spectrum of emotion to have your garden flourish. You need to have the rain and the thunderstorms to be able to make sure your plants are growing and have strong stalks and can support themselves. You know what I mean? Like the analogies today are great. But no, you have to feel to heal. You have to understand that you are going to go through every single one of these emotions, and there's a proper time and a place. But at the same time, our thoughts and our feelings are just like channels on a television. Even though there's a fire burning or an explosion in a movie, it doesn't hurt the TV. And that's ourselves. That's our brain. That's our heart. It doesn't explode out of the TV. And at the same time, if we don't like the movie we're watching, we can change the channel. You can go, hey, I don't want to think about that.
I like the fact that you can't really see and have light without darkness, and you can't have darkness without light.
I mean, darkness and light are just labels, right? For the amount of, right? What do we call light? Protons? White light spectrum? Energy?
I don't know. I forgot all my science.
But I mean, whatever you want to call it, it's just that. There is no such thing as darkness. Darkness is the absence of light. Right? So there would be no darkness. It's light or you don't have light. And we need a name for that, right? Same thing with love and fear and hate and all that stuff. It's like, oh, you don't hate, you just have an absolute lack of love, any kind of compassion or kindness towards this person, place, or thing. You know what I mean? Where does that stem from? Usually a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't try to understand one another. They want to argue and make you understand me. They don't want to ask questions and wonder why the other person has a differing opinion. They just want to defend their own.
Yeah, I think everyone has their own time to accept things. Sometimes people just aren't ready.
Yeah. It's weird. And sometimes you have to say it in a certain way for that to unlock in their mind too. You could be told 100 different ways the same thing, but until you're told the way that'll understand for you, will that snap into place.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
I think that's why they call them like spells and magic incantations and stuff like that. It's not just the words, it's the tone and how you say it and what proper order you put those words in. I mean, I think that's the reason where we got magic spells and stuff from, because it is a bit similar to that in a way. You have to say it a certain way to unlock their brain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's comes back to, again, coming full circle, like we said earlier, like how you start with a thought that you're like, oh, that's the right thought, and you talk so much. We're coming full circle now. It's like people have their own experiences, and everyone's experience is unique. Like we said at the start of the episode, everyone has their own meaning to it.
Oh, for sure. Their own purpose.
Yeah.
And that's why this is part 2 of the infinite saga of life lessons and the meaning of life, right?
We'll try and get another part out soon, either continuing or a different topic. We don't know yet. If anyone has any topics, ideas as well that they want to hear us discuss, comment below.
Yeah, please mention it in the comments. Share with us your thoughts. But I think even if we pick anything, whether it's a finances or chakras or transcendental meditation versus lucid dreaming or crystals or anything fun that we like to explore and check out, I think at the end of the day, It's all going to be life lessons.
Yep. And the life lessons that like we take from it as well.
Yeah. Because that's our meaning. We like to assign meaning of having these deep conversations, making each other think and inspiring you to do the same. Exactly. And always lead with love and, try to be compassionate. Even if you don't understand why somebody's doing something vastly different from you, try to at least have compassion for them, that they're trying to do their best in their absurd sometimes way. What seems absurd to us, right?
Yeah. I think it's a good place to leave it, like where we are, unless you have anything else to add.
Nope, just that lead with love. Be kind, rewind.
Be kind, rewind. So, do you want to wrap this up with a final deep breath, or?
Nah, I like the one episode.
Okay.
I'll let them breathe on our thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can like go back to the start of the episode and listen to your deep breath again.
More than welcome to. I encourage it. Get as many deep ass breaths as you can. And I want to say this publicly. I'm not making fun of the practice of meditation. I am kind of a parody of some of the online meditators that say goofy stuff. If you listen to meditation as long as I have you, they do say some really silly stuff out there. But we just try to keep it fun and lighthearted. I really love meditation. I strive to do it every single day. It's a wonderful thing to help keep up with my maintenance for me as a human being, to be able to behave like a human being in my best version. So I can't say enough great things about meditation, and all of the guided meditations I listen to, even the ones that say goofy things, have always been lovely and wonderful to help inspire me. So I just want to say, no hard feelings, meditation or meditators.
I think before we go as well, just one last thing from me. Meditation is what you make of it. As long as you're present in the moment. Like for me, I meditate when I do kickboxing, like when I'm thrashing the pads or when someone's thrashing my pads. And it's like, as long as you're in the moment and expressing yourself, like allowing the energy flow, or when you're doing yoga or when you're running, as long as you're present in that moment, anything can be meditation, really.
Absolutely. Some people, when they go to work and they are flipping burgers or writing their chapters of their story or whatever, they'll enter a flow state, and it's very similar to Zen meditation. And you can. Yeah. There's no wrong way to meditate. It's like eating the Reese's peanut butter cup. There's no wrong way to meditate. And if you can set aside 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 4 hours, whatever you're into for your meditations, right? If you can just set that time aside for yourself and you show up every single day for that time, ready to take that time for yourself, you've already done like 80% of the hard work.
Exactly. Well, we'll leave everyone off on that note then. Let's
maybe we'll talk about meditation more in the next episode.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about meditation, like some spiritual stuff like that as well. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone, please like and subscribe, and follow Derek.
Manifest the most amazing day for yourself.
Awesome.
Do that for me.
Yeah.
And it's D Berry Podcast. We'll share the link everywhere and share it with your mom. She's a kind of wonderful woman. Share away. Well, if she's not a kind of wonderful woman, maybe she's not ready for it. Don't share it with her. You don't have to open up those wounds. But if she is a cool mom, then share away. Do you think?
Share and subscribe. And take a deep ass breath.
Yeah. And thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.